Cities, the centers of modern life. What makes them tick? How can we make cities work better? Finding an answer to those questions is the life work of Richard Florida, academic, public intellectual, author. Florida's best-selling books have popularized his brand of sociology and made him a media star. The University of Toronto's Rotman School of Management recruited Florida to head up a new Prosperity Institute.
And if you ask me the core mission behind this institute, we didn't call it creativity, we didn't call it innovation. We called it prosperity for a reason. Now, creativity and innovation are required for prosperity, but it can't just be about rich people making cool technology and great artists and musicians making great art and music. It has to be about creating that spark, that we call it a creative ethos, how unlocking that in every individual and making sure that whether it's natural resources, agriculture, service, manufacturing, quote, creative industries, that all of those things are ticking and working at full speed.
For Florida, one of the keys to building a great city is attracting creative people. Artists, designers, high-tech pioneers, entrepreneurs. He calls them the creative class.
What is really the commonest, simplest, most general phenomena in human beings? It's our creativity. What my work said, I think, and what's really interesting about it said that really what makes people the same is not our physical labor, but it's actually, you know, and I thought a lot about this and wrote a lot about intellectual labor, mental labor, think workers. It's something even more innate than that. It's this kind of creative spark that every person is born, every child has this. So what if a city could become a container of this creative energy? So right now, you know, according to our own estimates, anywhere between 35 and 45% of a population of a city metropolitan area are members of the creative economy. I called them the creative class in my previous work. What if a city could actually engage the creative capabilities of 60, 70, 80, 90, hopefully someday 100% of its residents? How much more economically productive, how much more prosperous, how much more fulfilling that would be?
Florida's newest book, Who is Your City?, is a blueprint to help readers decide what city is best for them. And for him, at this moment, that city is Toronto.
There's not the single best city. It's not like Toronto's better than Vancouver, better than Montreal, better than Boston, better than San Francisco, better than New York, or like London that is at the top of the pack. It's to find the best city and the best neighborhood for you. And for us at this time of our lives, Toronto just seemed like the perfect fit.
Florida is using his newly adopted home as a testing ground for his ideas. Starting with the gentrified neighborhood of Cabbagetown, he took me for a stroll around Toronto spots to demonstrate what he's talking about.
Housing is becoming so expensive that for a young person, unless they're special or mom and dad's financing them, or for a working person, or for someone who, you know, isn't in a profession that's making a lot of money, they get pushed further and further out of the city. And I worry about that economic stratification or segmentation a lot. It really worries me. I think Canada is in this great debate, actually, and it's one of the things we really want to work on here.
Florida sees part of his job as helping to steer Canada from some of the pitfalls he sees coming.
It's a country which has two great riches. One is this incredible creative economy, but also Canada has this incredible wealth of natural resources and the oil sands and mining and all of this natural resources. And in some ways, they're kind of, I don't want to call them at war, but they're kind of in this battle. You know, is the Toronto model or the Vancouver model or the Calgary model the right one? And which one has the right mix of government incentives and public policies? And, oh no, this one's too left, this one's too right, this one has too much government, this one has not enough. No, these two things should go together.
Toronto's Kensington Market is the kind of neighborhood Florida cherishes. It's full of tolerance and genuine diversity. It's the starting point for each new wave of immigrants coming to the city. And chock-a-block with young people, coffee houses and owner-operated shops. But he's worried that it's becoming too trendy.
And I hope it can be protected. I mean, I've said this before. I really worry that this neighborhood now, you know, it was different when the city, people were suburbanizing and the city was less financially valuable.
His ideas have been embraced by mayors and civic organizations around the world.
Actually, I'm not that good at policy, and it's really interesting. You know, I'm a pattern recognizer, so I'm kind of like a radiologist more than the diagnostician. I can show you the way the world is moving and the way society is organized.
And then it's up to city planners and citizens to decide what kind of place they want to live in. But Florida does give a warning.
I saw my whole country become socially divided, a culture war, a political polarization, a class war. And one of the things I say about Canada is be careful.